Jelly. In our next video, we're going to continue with our exploration of multiple views. And we're going to take a look at tab view applications. So I'll go ahead and, did you want to say something? Perfect. Okay, I'll just share my screen. Now, we're going to open up Xcode, go to New Project, you can see the screen okay, right? Perfect. So now we're in the templates for the new iOS applications. And we choose tabbed application. So before we were using master detail, also using single view, but tabbed application, that's what we want here. Choose next. Tabbed application. No use of storyboards, use automatic reference counting. It's an iPhone app. Now, what does the template provide us? So we can see we have a nib of first view controller, and we have a nib second view controller. And for this application, we need to start exploring a bit about what's going on with this app delegate. So if you remember, all these applications are starting out with main, and it's starting up this UI application main, and a single window is sort of presented to the user. And then multiple views are laid up on top of that single window. And it's the app delegate that's performing the delegate responsibilities for the application. And so if we look at the implementation file for the app delegate, we can see how the tabs are being loaded up into the tab bar controller. Now, don't worry too much about the details of the syntax, but just get kind of the general idea. The application launches. It calls this did finish launching with options. This method is called. There's a window that's established. There's a view controller 1 that's allocated in memory. There's a view controller 2 that's allocated in memory. And then a tab bar controller is allocated there in memory. And then the two view controllers are loaded up into the tab bar controller. And then finally, it's all made visible. Okay? So the way to modify this, let's say add a third tab, would be to sort of replicate the structure that's going on here. And we'll do that by creating a new header, implementation file, and nib associated with that third tab. And we'll do that by saying File, New File, and then choosing Objective-C class within the iOS Cocoa Touch. And this is going to be a UI view controller. And we'll use the same pattern used in the template, and that's saying third view controller. And we do want a nib for this user interface. So this should give us 3 files. We put it into the project. And And look what we have here. We have a new nib file, third view controller. And this, say, corresponds to what's going on here with this first view controller. We have a new header and a new implementation file. This corresponds to what's going on here, let's say in the second view controller, the header, and then the implementation file. And you notice there's some extra code in this area. So let's run that and see if it changed anything. Okay, so it's not detecting the third view controller at all. It's saying it thinks it just has two here in this tab bar. How do we make this third tab appear? Well, we'll get back to that in a second. Let's first modify that third view controller so it'll be sort of unique. I'll go ahead and, let's say, drag in a label. You can iPhone program. Jelly. All right. And we'll customize the appearance there a bit. Let's increase the font size. Make it bigger. We'll go ahead and center that. That's fine. We'll make it bold. All right, that's good. Now, if we want, we can make that little black bar appear, so it sort of simulates the presence of the tab bar. And I'm trying to find where it is that you could do that simulation. It's not in the connections. I think it would be right in here. So, oh, yeah, it'd be like selecting the scale to fit portrait. Oh, status bar. Oh yeah, here we go. So we needed to have select the window itself, and then it kind of senses that in the attributes inspector. And there we can add our tab bar. So that's what the placement's going to look like. So let's see if we can get that to appear in our simulation of the app. The way we'll do that is by modifying the implementation file of the app delegate. And we need to, at this point, allocate a new view controller. So we'll say UI view controller and we'll use the same pattern as before. And then we'll start typing third view controller. Alloc. Now, you see, we're getting something strange here. It's not turning it green. we would expect it to turn green. And it's just red. So it's detecting an error. Why is that? Well, the reason is we need to import the third view controller. So there we import the third view controller. Now it's sensing that. Let's see if it detects it. Third view controller, alloc. Okay, yeah, it's giving us what we expect, the alloc. And then init with nib name. For this, we called it third bundle nil. And we don't change this, we just allocate new tab bar. All right, and then we need to add the view controller 3 to that third position. Let's see if that worked. Okay, it looks different. So first, second, third. Aha! You can iPhone program Jelly. We did it. So we added a third view controller to the tab bar controller. Now you'll notice that there's no label on it, like first, second, no image. Let's fix that. So let's just copy in what's going on, say first, with that the text or the code for that second view controller. So we'll put that into our implementation file for the third view controller there. And let's, we'll just change this to a string literal. We don't need to have the NS localization. We'll say third. And we'll run that and see if it fixes it. Okay, now we do see a third view controller at this point. Looks like we lost Jelly. I'll just continue on. She can catch up later. So we've got the third view controller, and it's using that same image as in the second view controller. So how do we change the image? Well, we could just drag in a new image because you see the first image, second image, those are based on actual images made available. But instead of doing that, what I'd like to do is use one of the system provided images. So we'll do that by going into the implementation file for that third view controller. And we'll comment out this self tab bar item. And instead, we'll say tab bar item equals UI tab bar reference my notes. Oh yeah. Tab bar item alloc init with tab bar system item. So we're going to use a a tab bar system item provided by the operating system framework. And this right here is an enumeration. So this is the specific UI tab bar system item. So we could use bookmarks or favorites. Let's use favorites. And then tag. This is a number representing sort of the order of the tab bars, and it becomes relevant when you have many different tab bars and you need to like be able to rearrange those guys. But we'll just put one for now because it doesn't matter. And so we'll run that and see how it looks. There we go. First, second, favorites. And then finally, the third tab bar with the system item, and then it's saying here favorites. And it's actually ignoring this title temp to set it. It's just going to be using favorites as the title. You can iPhone program Jelly.